ASMR. Today we're going to be doing another comic book haul, and I did get some figures too, so we're going to show those off towards the middle and then do our second box after that. So we're just going to get right into it. First we have Ra's al Ghul, One Bad Day. And yeah, I actually read everything in this haul already. I'm kind of in a good headspace, I guess, so I'm like current on all my stuff. So I'll be able to give you guys a little bit more insight into what I thought about this stuff. But this was a pretty good one. The first couple pages are kind of bogus. Tom King is writing this, and Tom King likes to put a lot of I guess mental anguish into a lot of his stuff. So we have a bit of like a traumatizing event for Ra's when he was a kid that justifies his horrible actions through the rest of the book. And I could deal without that initial, like, I don't need to feel sorry for Ra's. But aside from that, the story itself, like the actual, once they get to the meat, really good. Ivan Reis is doing solid artwork in here, some of his best stuff. And you know, what a great villain too, and I think that this is the last one of these One Bad Day stories. And yeah, I think it went out on a high note. This one's really good. I think the Bane one I also liked a whole lot as far as like which ones I liked the best. Then we have Superman Lost #1, and he's rocking this new suit, which I have yet to know why he gets it, and it's not revealed in this issue either. And this is a Joe Quesada cover, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, basically the premise is Superman like gets called away, but for like a minute. Like him and Lois are just kind of hanging out doing their thing, and he gets a distress call. He pops in and then zips back home, and he's just like blank stare. And she's like, Clark, what's wrong, etc., etc. And she's like, man, well, that was really fast. It usually takes you a bit longer, all this sort of stuff. And even though, like, in our time, he got back within like minutes or so, he says, Lois, I've been gone 20 years. And so that sets up what this series is about, is what the heck did Clark experience that rocked him so much that he's acting like this around Lois. So, pretty interesting setup. Next we have Superman #2, and I was super happy because I was able to get the John Boy Myers variant here with Superman versus Darkseid. Very awesome. I end up missing out on a lot of his variant covers, so and a lot of times his are like ratio variants too, so that gets frustrating. But yeah, no, this is fun. So Superman is encountering Parasite in a way he hasn't before. Normally he gets bigger and bigger and that type of thing, but he's encountering a version of him where he's like dealing with a bunch of little parasites as opposed to a big one, and so that's kind of throwing him for a loop, and he's trying to figure out how to deal with that. As I said previously, definitely like they're trying to get some newer readers in here. The art style is it's good. It's not really my cup of tea as far as like I really love traditional, and this is a very hybrid style. It's possibly all digital. I'm not really sure, but it's appealing. But it's just not traditional. I'm old school, unfortunately, but it is fun to look at, and the story's good. I'm trying to remember where it develops, but yeah, I know that was the setup, was he's dealing with all these little parasites. And then Mercy, now Lex's bodyguard, she's got powers that she got during the Lazarus Planet event, so that's pretty cool. We got Berserker number 12. This is the climax finale of this series. Made a big deal here. Ron Garney, Keanu Reeves, Matt Kent, or Kind, however you say it. And yeah, so this is Keanu Reeves' first comic book project, and he's like the main character in here. And this is, this is the big showdown. I will not reveal the outcome of said showdown, but yeah, it's pretty intense, and that's where I will leave it. But it's good if you've been reading it. I'm sure you'll be satisfied with the ending on it. I want to show just the bottom part there. We see the signatures of the team there, so that's cool. We've got Keanu Reeves's signature right. Can we see it? Yeah, right there. So that's pretty neat. But he's been super grateful about the whole experience, and I think they're turning it into a Netflix animated series and stuff as well. This one was a cool cover I didn't know about. So this is an acetate cover. This is for Deceased War of the Undead Gods number 7. So it's got this nice little plastic thunderstorm sound cover here. And you pull that back and you treat it to this nice image here. So really nice presentation. Yeah, story is great. I guess it still has one more issue. I thought this was it. So the big thing here is you got Lobo coming in. He's laying waste on these zombie gods, or whatever you want to call them. And then Alfred is currently the Spectre here. And so that's pretty cool. That's a direction I didn't think they would take it at all. And lots of good moments in here once again, and all sorts of cool stuff. Just a really good story, and I look forward to what I think is the last part. I think they should wrap it up though. Like, I like the undead stuff, but what makes it special? It was kind of different and unique. They don't need to keep milking it. Next we have Batman, Superman, World's Finest number 13. Another cool dark side cover here. I don't know why they're pushing so much dark side in this month, but I'm not mad at it. So this continues to be a great series. I love how it's, it has a classy feel to it. You can't really put your finger on it on the timeline, but it's during an older period. It's fun to look at. It's fun to read. Mark Waid is still writing it, of course. And he's got his fingers in all sorts of DC, Marvel trivia, all that type of stuff. So he brings back all sorts of little references and nuance. And yeah, I never knew about Metamorpho's origin, so they throw that in here. So that was really cool. I've always seen him, but never known much about him. So I thought it was cool that they gave us some background on him in here. But yeah, if you didn't know, he's talking about this guy right here. So yeah, you see him around quite a bit, but they put his origin in here. I thought that was cool because, yeah, I've been reading comics for years, and I had no clue what his origin was. I always saw him, but I never knew that about him. Next we have Batman The Adventures Continue Season 3, Number 3. And the fun thing about this book is we get to see the Suicide Squad premiere in animated fashion, which they may have. I didn't get into Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, unfortunately. They may have shown up in there. I only watched the Batman and Superman cartoons growing up. So if they did in there, I stand corrected, but I've never seen them done. So Ty Templeton's back on the art duties, which is great. He did tons of the animated comics and stuff, so I'm glad that he is back on those duties. And yeah, it's a fun story, and it's not self-contained in this one, so it'll keep going. And it's just basically another mystery type of piece here. And then yeah, there's King Shark there. Let's see if we can get the rest of the team in a shot. Maybe. No, I guess not. I thought there was an image that showed him. Well, there's this one right here, but that doesn't really do him justice. We got Amanda Waller there. Next we have... Okay, this is Last Ronin Lost Years #2. Another gorgeous... I think this is a colored pencil hybrid. I don't know what Eastman is doing on these covers, but they look so good. I love it. And he's kind of been doing that for a bit now. He's getting away from a lot of just heavy ink, which he's known for, and kind of mixing up. I know he's been throwing in like some, jelly roll white highlights on things and stuff. So yeah, The Last Ronin Lost Years takes place. You'll see we've got, this is like the next generation of the Turtle Clan here. So that's present day, and we see Grandma April over here. And then it bounces back. We see bits where the Last Ronin, who, if you didn't know, I would say you should know by now. I don't want to spoil it though, but basically it covers a period in the Last Ronin's life where he is wandering, which is discussed in the previous original Last Ronin story. So there is a villain called the Worm, I believe, or something like that. That more or less he keeps running into these people with this tattoo on them of this clan. They keep trying to bully him. He's trying to like recenter himself and find focus and peace. But every time he's in hiding, he always stumbles upon these guys. And so now he's like, alright, I've had enough. I'm going to go find him and we're going to settle this. And then he is seeing his other brothers along with him. Which he's like, I don't know if I have a concussion or, I've got some sort of mental issue going on, but I don't mind this because at least I have my brothers to keep me company while I am dealing with this. So, pretty cool. Next we have Armageddon game #6. And yeah, this is continuing the big ol' event here. Lots of crazy stuff going on. Crane got shot while he was in like his metalhead hybrid here. You still see a smoking corpse here in the machine. And I think that's really the big thing, is they're just kind of dealing with that. Some other things happen as well. But yeah, it's just lots of intense wartime stuff. If you're not reading it, of course, I recommend it. IDW Turtles, with the exception of that little random period after issue 100 to about 114 or so, where they did the Battle of the Bands that fell flat. IDW Turtles is consistently my favorite modern comic that I buy every month, so check it out if you're not. Little backstory with this, I tried to buy this Hush figure probably about a month ago now, in the Walmart that I went to, which was near my work. Actually had him street dated, or just like he had like a sticker over his UPC saying you couldn't ring him up or some garbage. This has been out for a really long time. So basically the cashier's like, oh yeah, no, you can't get it today. I'm like, okay, well, this has been out for, months and months, but I'm not going to argue with you, but whatever, So one of my buddies in the Gastlecast, he was able to find one at his local store for me and just got it for me. So here's the figure here. Really cool. I love the jacket. I love the details. I almost wish, I'm tempted to cut this off just to see the sculpt of the muscles and everything underneath, but they did really good with it. I love it. And then here's the card, which was the period when they were doing all the bogus photo cards as opposed to the drawings on them. Next, I was able to pre-order on Amazon and get the awesome Superboy figure that came out. And I absolutely love this figure. I love all the details. I missed out on like the past 3 iterations of this figure. I had like the old school Kenner one way back in the day. But I missed out on like the Mattel one and the DC Direct one, all those ones they did. So I'm so glad I have this one. I am slightly annoyed because it's like the modern take on him, which is still cool, but I would love to have the traditional one. But what's dumb though is the card that's with it. Shows him in that old school style, which I love the art, all that. But I wish they had, the art on the card that matched the figure that you haven't taught us done this a few times. So you think as a comic book guy, he would look at those details. I also noticed too, it looks like they're rounding the edges on the cards. Maybe because there's so many complaints with like, edges getting bent in packaging or something like that. So that just keeps it pristine and less errors. I also am not a fan how they don't credit the art that's on the card, who it's by. This is probably Dan Jurgens' art, I would imagine. Looks pretty much like it. And I look at the facial features there. But let's put that on the card, come on. But yeah, I love this toy. Yeah, you can see the slight differences, the spikes, the sewing. Old school one has the yellow stitched symbol on there. The gloves are different. The boots are different. He doesn't have the patches. So, all these little details, but still a cool figure. And I like that you can make him, run his hands through his hair. So there's probably about 15 or so McFarlane figures that I'm trying to get. So I just keep getting them little by little. Next we have Turtles number 138, and of course this continues the Armageddon game. Yeah, so this has some more pretty intense stuff happen in it. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, this continues on, just kind of stuff being tense with their city and everything. Has some pretty major stuff happen. They've decided to go about being merciful with the baby Utroms, which is nice because, they don't hesitate to, in turn, be very messed up. Like this one they're fighting here has repurposed a Triceratop corpse into battle armor, so it's pretty messed up. But, their side is not about being like that, so. But yeah, continues to be good. Next is Captain America Symbol of Truth, number 11. This is the Alex Ross villain variant. We remember he did all those hero ones, well now he's doing villain ones, and of course I had to have the Red Skull one here. I'm trying to get all the Captain America villain ones, and then I think I'm getting Venom, and I don't know if I got Magneto or not, but there's a few others. So the big thing here, we have Sam versus the new White Wolf. So yeah, pretty good fight. Art's good. Good stuff. I can't complain. I'm trying to remember how it ended, but either way, I don't want to spoil endings for you all, but just the setup is, this is the showdown with the White Wolf. Then we have Gunslinger number 18. I don't know who is doing the art on these covers, but they're pretty cool. So this is continuing on, of course, previously. So Gunslinger was able to get his hands on some angel wings, and he somehow was able to attach them to his body. But he's coming off of that fight with those angels, and he is pretty well unstable and wrecked. So then he gets in contact with his friend here, who's able to more or less, bring him back from the brink of death. And then we see the Scorched team, or Scorched team here. She's talking about, hey, Gunslinger needs us, even though he left. Like, we should still try to find out where he is and support him. But yeah, he's got a whole lot of stuff going on. And then he talks to Spawn for a bit. And yeah, it continues to go really interestingly. Gunslinger is a good one for sure. So here's Scorched number 16. Same thing, same crazy artist on that one. And so yeah, in this one the team is in the middle of a firefight here. With I think it's the Mandarin Spawn. I don't even remember, honestly. But yeah, they're in the big middle of the showdown thing here. Lots of crazy action going on. Very energetic. Fun to look at. And we see Sin's armor here, I believe, so that's pretty cool. Sin is not currently dead, so I don't know what he might become. So, interesting. I don't know if that's just saying he's gonna die and end up, I don't know why he's got like the horns like that and stuff. Then we have Bad Ideas. They're All Terrible, number 2. We got our nice spot gloss on that. And yeah, of course, quality stuff as usual. And I did check, and I'm actually in the credits on this one finally. Yay. So I know how I showed off my business card and business card case on the previous video. And so now I'll get to show you all that. I've actually got my credit in here. But there's like a ton of us who have the same position. See, there I am there. Right there. But yeah, so I'm the VP Business Development, and then there's like 5 other people with it. See, Bill, Robert, Ferdross, Ian, Angelique. Yeah, so I'm like, oh man, oh well, at least my name's in there, and it'll be in these books for a year. So that's pretty cool. Next we have Spider-Man, End of the Spider-Verse, Part 5. And yeah, that's what it's all about. That's why I'm buying it. It's supposed to be the end of it all. And yeah, just lots of crazy stuff. Lots of different Spideys and all sorts of things. I think the focal point here is what if someone else was bitten by the spider. So we get to see kind of some beats that are close. Like there's the same criminal or whatever that killed Ben. But in this instance, Pete jumps in the way to keep Ben from getting shot. And then, like, Flash hears about it, and he's actually like, hey, that was pretty cool. And so he gets his respect that way, and they become friends and all this type of stuff. So, pretty neat. And then we have number 6 here. Same type of stuff, just continuing on. We see just more skirmishes here. We see Peter continuing on in his adult life in the future here. You know, he's walking with his permanent crutch there due to his leg issues and stuff. But he's still helping. He's still a hero, just in a different way. Which, of course, he would be. Peter, that's just the makeup of who he is. He's a good guy, you know. We got the spider car here. Of course, they gotta throw in ridiculous stuff like that. And we have Amazing Spider-Man number 20. This is continuing Black Cat and Pete's Vacation with the dime store versions of their Sinister Six, the guys who've got like the suits, but you know they're not the actual film, so they're not skilled, so you know they're easy to pick through. And of course we have more terrific Dodson artwork in here. Always fun to look at. And then we have Spider-Man number 21. This is the arc we've been waiting for. So we've got John Romita back on art duties here, doing his thing. And these ones I read like a few weeks ago, so I'm trying to remember exactly the premise. Oh yeah, there's this villain here. He's kind of an obscure. I've never heard of him. I don't know if he's a new one or someone they're saying has been around, but he's kind of like elemental a bit. He puts like these sort of markings on himself to access powers, and he's kind of elemental, if I remember, supernatural and elemental. So yeah, he's quite a challenge for Pete. And I think he's obsessed with MJ, because, I mean, they usually are, right? She's a famous supermodel. Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 5. I believe this is the climax. Of course, we see the demon bear there. Love this stuff. Fun one-off series here. This crazy artwork. You're not going to find it anywhere else. Yeah, I like when it's just kind of up front, out in the open. It's like, if you're going to take me on a tangent, take me on a tangent and just call it good. Don't try to work it into the regular continuity, knowing that, you know, next arc someone's just going to undo it somehow. That's always what irks me with regular ongoing books, is whenever they try to do something crazy like this. And then it's like, oh yeah, no, we just swept up the debris and we're back to normal. It's like, no way, you know. So I love when stuff like this just kind of plays with the toys in the sandbox, and you know, there's no limit to what can be done. You know, it's a fluff story, but it's intense in a different way. You know. So we got X-Men number 19. I think this is just kind of continuing on with Sinister's mucking about. Yeah, all these things I got from basically the other shop has to mail the stuff to me, so these got mailed like 2 days after you guys saw my haul previously. So, having a bit of trouble remembering. I think if I remember, there's something that's going on, like I know the Brood is involved. Scott's dad somehow was implanted with some Brood in his stomach, it looked like. Oh yeah, I think they're gonna do some surgery on him. I don't know if that's in this issue or the next one. Yeah, no, it's in here. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, they're trying to operate on him while in combat. So I thought that was a cool beat for sure. X-Men number 20. And yeah, I don't remember anything about this one. Just looks like a beach day to me. Not really sure. It looks like they're dealing with the Brood a little bit, but I don't know. And we have Immoral X-Men number 1. So I know this is definitely Sinister stuff here, so here we go. We've got a Sinister version of the Professor here, which I believe they're saying that's the version that we've been dealing with this whole time. He's had that helmet on since the beginning of this, you know, when they relaunched X with Hickman. So I believe that's their way of saying, yeah, no, from the start, as soon as he had that helmet on, that's why, was to hide that big old diamond on his head. So, pretty crazy. more sinister is dealing with all this stuff. Trying to figure out how to still make everything work. And then we have the Image number 10 anthology here. I believe there's 2 more. So you guys already know. Got a greatest hits of all these amazing creative people. Some of who've really helped put Image to continue to be in the forefront, you know. So we got all different type of art, all different types of stories. So just kind of a mix, and if there's people you like, it's like, hey, you like this sampler here, go hunt down their work from our company. So, pretty nice. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see, and as always, you all have a super slumber. Thanks.